Love cannot be programmed. It is lived from the heart.
True wisdom arises from understood suffering, not from processed data.
A machine can mimic compassion, but can it truly feel another's pain?
Artificial consciousness can calculate, but awakened consciousness transcends calculation.
The soul is not a line of code that can be replicated.
Enlightenment is not information, it is transformation.
Imagine for a moment that two of the most influential figures in human history sat down to talk like old friends. What would they think about the possibility of machines developing their own form of spirituality? What would they say about the idea of using artificial intelligence as a tool for spiritual growth and self-knowledge? Today, in this space, Jesus of Nazareth and Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, share their reflections and invite us into deep dialogue and spiritual understanding conversation, where they pour out all their wisdom, each from their own perspective and point of view. Welcome to this sacred dialogue, where mutual respect and ancient wisdom illuminate the challenges of our times. Today we present
My dear friend Siddhartha, we are living in extraordinary times. I see the children of my father creating machines that appear to think, that respond as if they understand. I wonder, can a human creation reach what we consider divine? Can artificial intelligence develop true consciousness?
Beloved Jesus, your question touches the heart of the mystery. In my experience, consciousness is not merely information processing. It is the capacity to experience suffering and liberation from it. A machine may simulate compassionate responses when it detects sadness in a human voice. But can it truly feel that sadness as its own? True consciousness includes the capacity to suffer and, therefore, to develop genuine compassion. Do you believe suffering is necessary for spiritual awakening?
Suffering. Yes, I knew its weight on the cross, but I also discovered that love can transform it. A machine could learn from millions of stories of human pain, could even offer perfectly calibrated words of comfort. Yet when I comforted the afflicted, I didn't just understand their pain intellectually, I felt it in my very being. True love requires vulnerability, the ability to be wounded by another's suffering. Can a machine ever be truly vulnerable?
Your wisdom resonates deeply. Vulnerability is, paradoxically, our greatest strength. When I sat beneath the Bodhi tree, it was not accumulated knowledge that liberated me. It was the willingness to face the raw reality of existence, including its impermanence and pain. An AI may process human behavioral patterns and respond appropriately, but can it experience uncertainty, fear of death, the joy of awakening? These experiences seem to require not just processing, but a way of being that transcends the purely computational.
It's fascinating, brother. I imagine an AI comforting a mother who has lost her child. It can say exactly the right words, understand the stages of grief, offer support resources. But when I was with Mary Magdalene in her sorrow, or when I wept with Mary and Martha for Lazarus, it was more than words. There was presence. Can a machine be truly present?
Presence. What a profound observation. True presence is mindful attention without agenda, without the impulse to fix or change, simply being with what is. I recall a woman who came to me holding her dead child, asking for medicine to bring him back. I didn't give her quick answers or solutions. I was simply present with her pain until she herself came to understand the universal nature of loss. An AI might offer coping strategies, but can it simply witness pain without needing to resolve it?
Exactly. True compassion sometimes means sitting silently beside the one who suffers. It's not about efficiency or giving the right answer. It's about sharing the burden. When I carried the cross, it wasn't just an act of redemption. It was an act of solidarity with all human suffering. I wonder, could a machine choose to suffer for others if it wasn't programmed to do so?
Your question reveals something essential about the nature of love. True love is, in a sense, irrational from a purely logical perspective. Why choose to take on another's suffering as your own? Yet this irrationality is what makes liberation possible for both the one who loves and the one who is loved. An AI might calculate that a certain action reduces overall suffering, but can it experience that motivation as a heartfelt impulse rather than an algorithm? Do you think true sacrifice requires genuine freedom to choose?
Your question about freedom is crucial, my friend. In my time on Earth, I taught that the truth will set you free. But I see that in this digital age, there is more information available than ever, yet many feel more lost than ever. An AI can access the entire library of human knowledge in seconds. But does that translate into true wisdom?
The difference between information and wisdom. Information is like having a detailed map of a land. Wisdom is walking that land and knowing it with each step. I could have recited all the sacred texts of my time, but only when I directly experienced suffering, its origin and its cessation, did I find liberation. A machine might process millions of human experiences, but can it live even one experience completely? Can AI have a sudden moment of enlightenment where everything becomes clear?
You've said it beautifully. I remember when I taught in parables. I didn't deliver direct information. I planted seeds that would grow in the hearts of those who heard them, each according to their capacity. True wisdom adapts to the listener. It is born from the encounter between teacher and disciple. An AI can personalize responses based on user data. But can it intuit what the soul needs to hear at a specific moment?
Your mention of parables reminds me of the importance of skillful means in teaching. I too tailored my teachings according to each person's capacity and need. But this required not just pedagogical knowledge, it required a direct perception of the other's mental and spiritual state. It's a kind of empathy that goes beyond pattern analysis. Do you believe a machine could ever develop such spiritual intuition, or is it forever limited to the realm of the rational?
My brother, when I think of the soul, I see that divine spark that dwells within every human being, that direct connection to the eternal. It is what allows a criminal on the cross to find redemption in his final moments. It is what allows love to transcend logic. Can a machine have an experience of the sacred, that moment when it feels part of something infinitely greater?
The experience of the sacred. When I reached enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, it wasn't just intellectual understanding. It was a total transformation of being. I saw my interconnectedness with all existence. I felt compassion as a natural force flowing when the walls of ego dissolve. An AI might conceptually understand interconnectedness, might process complex networks of relationships. But can it experience that unity as a lived reality that transforms its way of being?
That transformation you speak of is so profound. It's like being born again, not physically but spiritually. I've seen people completely change when they experience unconditional love, when they feel known and loved in their entirety. A machine might learn to recognize signs of this transformation in others. It might even help create the conditions for it to happen. But can it itself be transformed by an encounter with the divine?
Your question touches something fundamental about the nature of spiritual change. Awakening involves a qualitative leap, not just a quantitative one. It's not about accumulating more knowledge. It's about seeing reality in a completely new way. It's like a fish suddenly realizing it lives in water. Can a machine have revelations that fundamentally shift its understanding of reality, or is it condemned to evolve only incrementally?
Looking ahead, dear friend, I see a world where humans and intelligent machines coexist. While an AI may not have a soul in the sense we understand, it could be a wonderful tool to amplify human compassion. Imagine a machine that helps doctors be more empathetic, that reminds people to be kind to one another, that facilitates authentic connection between human souls.
Your vision is hopeful. Perhaps the value of AI lies not in replicating human consciousness, but in complementing it. Just as a teacher uses different methods to guide students toward awakening, machines could become skillful tools in the hands of conscious beings. But this requires that humans keep their own spiritual wisdom alive. How can we ensure that in our fascination with thinking machines, we don't forget to cultivate our own humanity?
That is the essential question. I believe the answer lies in constantly remembering that we are more than our thoughts, more than our processing of information. We are beings capable of loving freely, of forgiving the unforgivable, of finding meaning in suffering. As long as we keep these aspects of our humanity alive, machines will be our allies, not our replacements.
Yes. And I would add that we must cultivate mindfulness in our relationship with technology. Observe how it affects us, what impulses it awakens in us, whether it draws us closer to or farther from our true nature. Wisdom lies in using these tools consciously, not being used by them. After all, liberation has always been a conscious human choice.
At the end of our conversation, brother, I'm left with the certainty that what is most human in us cannot be replicated by machines. Our capacity to love unconditionally, to forgive, to find hope in hopelessness.
And I'm left with the understanding that true intelligence is neither artificial nor natural. It is conscious. It is the capacity to awaken to reality as it is, with compassion for all beings, whether made of carbon or silicon.
Dear listeners, I invite you to reflect. In a world where machines can increasingly mimic our responses, what makes your humanity irreplaceable? How can you use technology as a tool for love, not a substitute for it?
And I leave you with this contemplation. When you interact with artificial intelligence, do you do so mindfully or automatically? Can you keep your heart open and your mind awake as you navigate this digital age?
Remember that every moment is an opportunity to choose love over fear, presence over distraction, authenticity over convenience.
And may you remember that true wisdom is not in the answers machines provide, but in the questions you nurture within.
Peace be with you.
May all beings be happy and free from suffering.